Alright, how's the mic? I'll test it once again.
Good.
Sweet. So, how's everyone's NDK? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get close to the microphone. How's everyone's NDK? You guys doing good?
Yeah.
Sweet. Alright, so, before I get started, let me just say for the record, like, I didn't really think that that doing a sim racing panel of all things at Nan Desu or an Anime Fest was going to be like possible, but thank you to the Nan Desu staff for allowing me to do this. Is there a way I can make this mic closer? Okay. But yeah, huge thank you to Nan Desu, huge thank you to all you guys and gals for showing up. Guys, gals, and NBs, I should say. So yeah, and yes, before you ask, that was a Super Smash Bros. Reference in the title. That was in Melee 2, right? Race to the finish?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, let's get on with it. So, before we get into what this panel's about, here's about me. So I started uploading videos to YouTube in May of 2012. I started writing game reviews on my Blogspot page. Is it Blogspot or Blogger? Is it both names? In November of 2015. I joined Silver Soul Gaming in November 2018 as a reviewer and have since become an affiliate. Not really sure where Silver Soul Gaming is in terms of where it's going, but that's a discussion for another time. I joined the Rebel Gaming Club in September 2019. Again, I'm not sure what direction that's headed in. It's kind of an indefinite hiatus. The leader of the RGC is the lead singer of the River City Rebels and the Step and Razor Blades. You might have heard River City Rebels music in games like AMP 2 and I believe a Far Cry game. I think it was Far Cry 5. Not that I played it, but okay, confession time, I never played a single Far Cry game, I'm sorry. I hosted 3 panels during WebCon 2020, and one of them was a sim racing panel. The other panels, if you're curious, were about making old game consoles look good and play well on modern TVs. I hosted my first in-person convention panel at Nan Desu 2 years ago, and that was about making old consoles look good and play well on modern screens. I co-hosted a gaming and cosplay meetup at Channel 3 Retro Gaming Center with Wes Rez and Dr. Despair, both of whom happened to be at this con in September 2022. Make sure you give them follows on Instagram, you will not regret it. Or the platform of your choice. You know. And show of hands, who's been to Channel 3 Retro Gaming Center? It's in Lakewood. Oh, that's a bummer, you should go, it's awesome. I occasionally do volunteer work for the Sports Car Club of America, or SCCA for short, and that's where I volunteered at an event recently and got this suit, and I wanted to look the part for this. And I've also dabbled in things like podcasting, Twitch streaming, cosplaying, cosplay photography, and music reviews, among other things. So that's me. Let's get into the sim racing genre. So what is sim racing exactly? Well, it's a video game genre that simulates auto racing realistically. It's not entirely the same as arcade racing games like Mario Kart or Burnout, Ridge Racer, etc., as the cars handle in a realistic manner and things like tire wear, fuel usage, mechanical damage, etc. are present. For the best feelings of control and immersion, racing sims are best played with a wheel and pedal setup rather than with a standard gamepad, keyboard, etc. I mean, you can use gamepads and keyboards if you get the settings just right, but it's still a pain in the rear end. How many clicks do I have to do here? History of sim racing. So we're going to talk about really important games within the genre. We're going to start off with this one, Revs from 1985. If you haven't heard this one, I don't blame you, it's kind of obscure. But it's believed to be the very first racing sim. It simulates British Formula 3, and originally included only 1 track, but 5 more tracks were added in expansion packs and ports. And as you see in the image there, it's this particular version is for the BBC microcomputer. Oops, there we go. Here's Indianapolis 500 The Simulation from 1989. This is one that my dad had growing up. I didn't get a chance to play it, but he did. The first racing sim developed by the Papyrus Design Group, who would go on to mainly develop sim racing games and become one of the most legendary developers in the genre. Development lasted for 18 months and had a budget of $70,000. That seems pretty small.
For that time.
You're right. Included practice and qualifying sessions as well as races that lasted for either 10, 30, 60, or 200 laps. 3 cars were included, with the Penske Chevrolet car being the fastest by default. This game also had a car setup function, so you can make other cars faster than that Penske. And here's NASCAR Racing from 1994, which is again a game I didn't play, but my dad played. And he can do a very good Ned Jarrett impression. I wish he could be here to demonstrate it. Like, when I say could be here, I mean like it being at this booth with me. The first NASCAR game developed by Papyrus. It was the first NASCAR licensed game to feature more than one real-life driver. There was a game called Bill Elliott's NASCAR Challenge, but Bill Elliott was the only real driver in it. It included a paint shop, which allowed modders to implement drivers that Papyrus were unable to license, and a couple of them include Dale Earnhardt and Bill Elliott. I could be mistaken about that. I know Dale Earnhardt wasn't included, but I could be mistaken about Bill Elliott, so if I'm wrong, then oops. It included 9 tracks by default, with 7 new tracks added via an expansion pack. And it had 2-player multiplayer via LAN and a dial-up service called Hawaii. Fun fact, Dale Earnhardt Jr. used to race on that Hawaii service quite a lot, to the point where he racked up pretty hefty phone bills, and his roommate was not happy. Here's Gran Turismo, the original one from 1997. When I say 1997, I'm referring to its Japanese release date. It didn't come to stateside until next year. Has anyone played a Gran Turismo game before? Sweet. One of the first racing games about collecting and upgrading hundreds of cars, participating in license tests, etc. I think we can all agree those license tests can get pretty freaking hard.
Yeah.
It included over 140 cars and 11 fictional tracks. It's regarded as one of the most realistic racing games on the original PlayStation. That and the second Gran Turismo game. Gran Turismo 2 is awesome. Although, there is fun fact, because they removed drag mode from Gran Turismo 2 at the last second, like, it's actually impossible to get like a 100% completion status in the game. It's weird, isn't it? Here's Colin McRae Rally from 1998. The first rallying game developed by Codemasters, who were recently acquired by EA. And by recently, I mean 4 years ago. Praised for being more realistic than Sega Rally. And here's Grand Prix Legends, also from 1998. I wrote a review of this recently on my Tumblr and GameFAQs pages. And when we get to questions, you'll be able to see my Tumblr, as in like the username on that screen. It simulates the 1967 Formula One season, and it's regarded as one of the most difficult racing sims of all time. I used to play this game with my dad, and for whatever reason, I got really scared whenever I saw fire in the car's mirrors. I don't know why. It was kind of sensory overload. And here's NASCAR Racing 2003 season from, well, it's in the title, 2003. The final ever game developed by Papyrus. And it's widely regarded as the greatest NASCAR video game of all time. And part of that is because of its humongous amount of mods. Here's another one from 2003, F1 Challenge 99 to 2002. It was developed by ImageSpace Incorporated, who developed other racing games for EA, like Sports Car GT and the NASCAR Thunder series on PC. I mean, accidentally. It's regarded by many as the greatest Formula One game of all time. And here's Richard Burns Rally from 2004. Regarded by many as the most realistic rally sim of all time. Mods are still being made for this game to this day. It was released roughly 1 year before Richard Burns' death. He is still missed. Here's Sports and Motorsport, the original one from 2005. I never owned this game when I was a kid, like back in its heyday, but I did play it on, demo kiosks, if you remember those.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, they're still a thing, but not quite what they were back in the day. tried to be better than Gran Turismo 4, and in some ways was. Like in terms of car damage, there were 8 cars on the track instead of 6, all that sort of stuff. It included over 200 cars. And here's the original R Factor from 2005. It was developed by ImageSpace with the purpose of being a modding playground. And there are an absolute butt ton of mods in this game. And here's another one, Talker Race Driver 3 from 2006. It's known for its massive amount of racing disciplines and championships. And like nearly every kind of like racing vehicle you can think of is in this game, unless you're expecting like, you know, midget cars, the Mini Cooper Challenge, or multi-engine pod racing on the desert planet of Tatooine, in which case you're screwed. It was the last Taka game before the franchise was rebooted into Grid. Now here's iRacing, which I've been really hooked on recently. It was developed using the NASCAR Racing 2003 season engine, and it's not modifiable due to a subscription-based platform, but still has a large number of cars and tracks. It was used by organizations like NASCAR for special races during the early months of the COVID-19 pandemic. I remember Jeff Gordon used to race, raced in one of those special COVID-19 events, and I was so bummed out when he wrecked. Big Jeff Gordon fan here. Now we're going to get into some notable games in the current market. And they include Assetto Corsa, Assetto Corsa Competizione. I left Evo off this list because it's an early access. Automobilista 2, EA Sports WRC, which stands for World Rally Championship, F125, the reboot of Forza Motorsport, if you want to call it a reboot, because it's just Forza Motorsport. There's no 8, there's no 23. It's just Forza Motorsport. Gran Turismo 7, Great Legends, iRacing, Le Mans Ultimate, Race Room, R Factor 2, and World of Outlaws Dirt Racing 24. I know with games like Grid Legends, like its status as a sim racer is a bit debatable, but it does have sim elements, so I threw it on here. Because why not? Here's some equipment for sim racing. And this is my wheel and pedal setup. I didn't mean to hit my laptop there. It's called the Thrustmaster T598. It works on PC, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Usually costs $600 before tax and shipping, although I bought mine for it was like a little over $500, including tax and shipping. Hooray for inflation. Yay. I say that sarcastically. It's a direct drive wheel, so the force feedback is more realistic than that on belt-driven and gear-powered wheels. It doesn't come with a load cell brake pedal, it's sold separately. If you don't know what a load cell brake pedal is, it's basically a brake pedal that is just basically more realistic in terms of like the fact that the when you push it, the amount of braking power you have in game depends on how much pressure you're putting into the pedal, not how far back you're pushing it. You know, just like a real car. A few websites to buy equipment on. Amazon, eBay, especially for classic wheels like the Logitech Driving Force GT, which I have. Facebook Marketplace, that's where I bought the Fanatec Speedster 3 wheel for the original Xbox. That's like if I remember correctly, that's like the only like true force feedback racing wheel for the original Xbox, and it was so hard to find, trust me. I think there were like only 3 copies last I checked, and all of them were on Facebook Marketplace. No eBay, no Amazon, nothing. Just Facebook Marketplace. You can also find some at GameStop. I don't think they have a T598 in stock at GameStop, but I could be wrong about that. I never checked. Best Buy, as I mentioned, that's where I bought the T598. I think I mentioned Best Buy, but yeah. You can also buy them off manufacturers' websites like Thrustmaster, Fanatec, and Logitech. Now, here's we get to the part where, how much time do we got? Anybody got a watch on them? 3:25. Okay, so we got 25 minutes. Oh, sorry. We got 25 minutes to do questions and 25 minutes to write down or look up the social media handles on there. Not just for myself, but also for Silver Soul Gaming, Rebel Gaming Club, Champion Retro Gaming Center, and the SCCA. So I will take your questions, and they don't have to be just about this. They can be about me, the content I make, or just whatever's appropriate, really. So, oh, right there.
I am trying to get more into sim racing, just because I always see videos on it and like a lot of content about it recently, and it's just very murky to get into, because I see listings for wheels and that stuff like that, and I don't know what's best for what games, what's best for what console I have, and especially for Xbox, like Xbox Series X and Xbox One. I don't know how wide the actual variety is on there. Do you know much about that?
Well, to my knowledge, I never owned a wheel for the Series X, although I did have a Thrustmaster wheel that was compatible with the One, but I only used it on PC. And it's funny you mentioned the Series X, because Thrustmaster is actually, I think pre-orders start in September. They're going to release a version of the T598 for the Xbox Series X. So if you have the money for it, and if you're willing to buy it, just go ahead and do it. I mean, but if you prefer like cheaper wheels, that's perfectly okay, even if they don't have like the best force feedback in the world or any force feedback at all. Just, it's on you, man.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Yeah, what's up?
Is $600 about like an entry level price, or does it vary like a lot depending on what you're getting?
Well, for direct drive wheels, they used to be like at least $1,000 to $2,000 a piece. So the fact that manufacturers are really decreasing those prices for direct drive wheels, I and a lot of other sim racers are very pleased with that. There are some cheaper direct drive wheels from brands like Moza, as I pronounce it, M-O-Z-A. But I haven't used one, so I can't really comment on that. But $600, I wouldn't say is the most entry-level price for a direct drive wheel, at least, but it's decent. Yeah.
To follow that up, cheaper, like not a cheap, like a middle end gear drive is only going to be like $300, and a cheap one's going to be like under 100 if you're lucky. And those aren't, like the quality isn't going to affect you, because I've been on iRacing for 6 years, and I've only used a Logitech G920 that whole time. So you can get by on that for sure.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time I used a G920. I think I used like a G29 at a convention, and I thought the force feedback on there was all right. But yeah, whatever floats your boat. If you're not looking for like the latest and greatest, if you don't need all the force feedback, all the force feedback in the world, that's okay. Anybody else got a question or a comment? Yeah.
How do you actually set up your wheel? Do you have like a racing wheel setup, or do you put a desk?
I personally don't have a setup for it yet. As in, like, I don't have a seat or like a special mount for it. But I just use a computer desk, and now thankfully the pedals that I use, they come with spikes on the bottom to prevent them from sliding around on the carpet. I didn't mention in the PowerPoint, I probably should have, I'm sorry about that, but you can get seats that come with tables that you can clamp or bolt the wheels to, and they do a pretty good job keeping them from sliding all over the place. That's the drawback of using it. Like on a computer desk, it's fine, but that's the drawback with like TV trays and coffee tables. They'll just move all over the place, and you constantly have to pause, and it's a massive pain in the backside. But yeah, hopefully I'll have the room and the money for a really nice seat. All right. Next question or comment? like I said before, it doesn't have to be just about this genre. It can be about me or my content or just whatever's appropriate. What's up?
What's your favorite sim just for yourself? Like if you just want to go for a drive and have a nice time, what's your preferred?
Hard to give an answer to that because like I bounce around with a lot in terms of what I'm playing.
What, you got like maybe 2 or 3 that you come back to that you like though?
I come back to iRacing a lot because that's like the best of the market for like NASCAR and for dirt track stuff. But I also like going to a game like Automobilista 2 for the Brazilian Stock Car Pro Series and some sports car racing. Because I don't have a lot of sports car stuff in iRacing, and the thing about iRacing is like you get like it's really expensive. Like you get a few cars and tracks, but everything else like you have to buy, and each car and track is like $12 to $15 a piece. And
Adds up quick.
that's what, sorry?
Adds up quick.
It definitely adds up quick. Like if you're gonna buy everything on iRacing, it's like at least $2,000, or at least $1,000. It could reach $2,000. Thankfully, they give you credits if you race enough, and they actually also cost money to host your own races in iRacing. I mean, yeah, iRacing is expensive, but you know, like in their defense, they spend an absolute butt ton of money on like their technologies and their licenses. So I get it. And I also go to F1 25 for my my F1 racing fix as of late, at least the modern ones, because you know, EA's got the exclusive license to Formula One, at least the modern F1 cars. Wow, EA have an exclusive license. What else is new, right?
Oh, yay.
And of course, WRC is where I go for the rally stuff. Now on that note, like a bunch of these games that like I listed and like the important games, I haven't played all of them. I just threw them in there because like, you know, they're fun to talk about, and you know they're important to the genre, and they're games that probably you played. But yeah, it was very long-winded for a simple question of what I mainly play. But what can you do, right?
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate that. What's up?
Question, are you going to review that, well, I guess the question is, are you going to go over to that F1 bar or whatever the heck?
Oh, F1 Arcade in Denver?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really
Next
hoping
month.
to. I haven't been to any other F1 arcades, but I've heard good things about them. And actually, on the Meetup app and meetup.com, is that the website, meetup.com? I know I have an app simply called Meetup, but I'm part of a group called the Denver Formula One Club, and someone was actually asking if there are going to be events like hangouts at the F1 arcade in Denver, and if there are, I'll happily go. I'm not going to go there to drink. I'm straight edge, but I'll happily like eat some good food and do some racing with some buddies, and it'll be a good time. Are you going to go?
Well, yeah, just probably, but eventually. I just wanted to see if you'd review it and then like put your honest opinion on it, is really what it is.
Yeah, I don't think it opens until next month, but when it does open, I'll try to go at least once. Next question? Yeah.
I'm not aware of what you guys are talking about. Is it like a restaurant or like bar that's like for that kind of stuff, like the actual racing?
I imagine that they'll the place will broadcast, or not broadcast. They'll display the races on their TVs there, and one of the attractions there is like an F1 motion sim. I think it'll play like the chair will move around like an actual simulator, but the game's physics will be on the arcadey side, from what I can gather, because like if they go too far with the realism, it's going to be too hard for kids who come in. Were you doing like an impression of like the motion sim?
Yeah, just literally just a child just flying into it.
I have something to add about the F1 Arcade.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's the same engine as like F1 25, and how they combat like the whole beginner thing is they just have assist levels you can adjust.
Yeah.
It's like all presets, and like so like you can go expert or you can like have like full like traction control ABS and all that.
Mhm.
So like it's beginner friendly in a better way than like making it like too arcadey.
Yeah.
It's kind of just sitting where like F125 is at.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to giving it a go.
Yeah, me too.
And knowing how bad I am in F1 games, I'll probably get my butt kicked. I could use assists, but like I try not to. Well, there's some assists I use, some I don't. I just like some of the assists I use are the like pit assist and the informative best line.
Yeah.
It shows like acceleration, slowing down, and braking. But I try not to use like traction control or anti-lock brakes.
Yeah. I remember F124, the physics were so bad you kind of had to use like medium traction control to like get around slow speed corners.
I personally didn't think the physics were bad per se, but
They weren't horrible, but like it kind of felt like a little too twitchy, in my opinion. It was very
Maybe.
sensitive in some places.
yeah. And I think the physics in F125 are pretty good. I like how they have laser scan tracks. Not every track has laser scan, but that's not the end of the world.
Right.
And for those who don't know, laser scanning is a technique for making stuff like the bumps more realistic. In the past, like there have been techniques like using GPS data, but laser scanning, if you want the most realistic tracks, laser scanning is the way to go. Anything else we can talk about?
Ran out of ideas, sorry.
It's okay, take your time. We still got like what, 15 minutes or so?
Yeah, hopefully. About like 10.
What's
What
up?
series do you run on iRacing?
What series?
Yeah. what do you prefer?
Mainly, I've been running the. I haven't really kept track of like what series I do the most, but I do a lot of street stock. I do a lot of draft master. I don't really do a lot of Formula car stuff because I suck at driving those things. Even the Formula V, I'm just really bad at.
Most people don't like the formula stuff. I think it's like the lowest participation out of the pavement.
Right.
Yeah. You don't have like a certain like preference, like oval over sports cars.
I would definitely say oval's my preference because I grew up playing a lot of NASCAR games. Although like with Draftmaster, I have been involved in a lot of crashes that have affected my safety rating.
Yeah. Draftmaster's kind of a different one. Oval safety rating, you gotta run short track, like late models.
Mhm.
Those are great because those are like 100 laps, and they have cautions too, so they string out nice and they're great.
Got someone sneezing a lot. Are you okay?
I was just choking. I choke
Oh.
on my own sneezes sometimes.
Oh.
Good, that's fine.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're all right. So, what else can we talk about?
Have you actually had any experience in a real track?
Aside from like karts and I believe getting a ride in a pace car when I was a baby, that's about the only track experience I have.
No, like Miata Cups or anything like that?
No. Maybe one day, we'll see.
Adding to that, have you ever considered like autocross as an option?
I haven't really thought too much about that, but again, maybe it'll happen one day. We'll see.
It's a lot cheaper.
Looks like we're running out of questions that can be asked. What time is it? Like
It's like 340.
3:40. Okay, so I got 10 minutes to kill. I very much appreciate all of you coming to this panel. I never really thought I'd get a chance to talk about this genre that I'm very passionate about at an in-person convention. But you know, that's the thing about life. Like when you don't expect something to happen, lo and behold, it happens. Sadly, that can be said for like really bad stuff that happens. But you know, But hey, like the point is, like we're here and having a great time at NDK. We're talking about a genre we like. That's not all the fun things we're doing at NDK. We're having fun in the game room. We're having fun at other panels, and everyone's just having a great time. It's amazing. And as for other cons I'll present this panel at, there's a few I'd like to present at. Maybe I'll present it at like DokuCon or Anime Fest. I don't know what your future cons are, but hopefully we'll cross paths at a con later down the road too. I don't know when my next con is because life has been lifing, and there's other stuff I like to do outside of cons. Like I want to rebuild my gaming collection. I want to go places with my girlfriend. I want to do more SCCA volunteering. And there's just so much stuff I want and need to do, you know? So I don't know when my next con is. I don't know how like frequently I'll go to cons in the future, but really appreciate the support from all of you nonetheless. I really do. And on that note, since there's not really much else to talk about, we'll wrap it up here and we'll give the next panelist, if there is a next. Is there a next panel after? No, this is the last one. Panel room one.
This is the last one of the day.
Okay. Clearly, I didn't really pay much attention to the schedule, did I? It happens. But yeah, thank you very much for showing up. I know there's only a few hours left of NDK, but I hope the rest of your NDK is a good one. So really, thank you guys for showing up. And if you want business cards, I'll provide them to you. I've got them in my backpack. I should have had them out on the desk, but that was an oops on my part. But yeah, I would love to connect with all of you, and thank you again for showing up. It means the world to me. Thank you so much.